Okay, here we are in front of the rear sway bar end link kit. In this instruction set, we're going to go over everything you see in front of you. Before we get started with the assembly of these sway bar links, this video is specifically showing a rear sway bar link for a 1.5-inch kit. The same process of measuring, cutting, and assembly applies for both front and rear sway bar links, as well as for JK, JL, and JT platforms, and all lift heights. Okay, so here we're going to go over our sway bar end links for the Jeep JK. A lot of these components would be used on the JL and the JT, but some things differ, like the use of a Heim joint on the front passenger side on the axle. You don't use that for the JK setup. You're going to use just 4 tie rod ends. So we're going to go over how to set this up and get your rods cut. We're going to use our sway bar quick guide as reference for the cutting of these rods, as well as the measurements for the center length. We have everything laid out in front of us here. This is everything you will get in the sway bar end link kit for the JK. Front and rear is going to be the same. Same process, you're just going to have different measurements to make and therefore different cuts to make. So we're going to start off with our threaded rods. These are the full length, and we are going to measure them down based off of our provided measurements and based off of the lift height that our vehicle has. So we're going to be looking at this chart here. JK rear sway bar end link. We're going to go over to a 1.5-inch lift in our case, and we're going to cut each end 2 3/16. I'm going to take my tape measure and Sharpie and measure 2 3/16. And we're going to do the same on the opposite side of that rod. And we're going to do the other one now. So we have the threaded rod marked based off of our lift height using the chart provided. We're now going to go to the saw and cut off that much on each end of the rod. You can use a hacksaw, you can use a cutoff wheel, you can use a bandsaw, whatever you have to make this cut. So we'll see you over at the saw. So now that we've cut our end links to length for the front, we're going to deburr where we cut. In our case, we're going to just give it a quick deburr so that the jam nuts and the tie rod ends can thread on easily. So you don't have to go crazy with it. Even just some low grit sandpaper will do enough for you. We're back at the table. After we've cut down our rods, we've also deburred where we cut, just to make sure that our jam nuts thread on nicely. So we're ready to begin the assembly. For these rear end links, we're going to use 2 jam nuts on either side. All of our end links will use this setup other than the JK 1.5-inch in the front. Just a quick tip here, the center length provided on our chart is not the length of the rod after your cut. The center length is going to be the length from one studded end to the other. So we'll show you that in a minute. We're now going to install our tie rod ends onto the rod. We went ahead and measured our center length for the end links, and we are now at 10 3/4. Again, this measurement changes based off of your lift height. So if you're confused, just go back, reference the chart on our sway bar quick guide, and that'll get you where you need to be. The setup for this is as follows. You're going to take your studded end, conical washer would go on this side, your sway bar would fit where my fingers are, and you're going to take a nut on the opposite side as seen here. It is important that the conical washer remain with the cup side facing the sway bar so as to provide ample clamping force when you're tightening down the nut. We're going to go ahead and get these installed in the vehicle, and we'll show you how this hardware gets put in. As we install these on the vehicle, we place the conical washer on the link first, ensuring the cupped face is towards the sway bar or mounting tab. Then we can pop it into the mounting hole and begin threading the nut on. Note again that while this is a JK rear link, the process will be mostly the same for JK, JL, and JT links front and rear, but refer to your kit's instruction for more specific guidance, as some models differ slightly. Repeat these steps on the other side. Once they are installed, tighten the jam nuts one at a time using an adjustable wrench and a 3/4 wrench until both nuts are snug.
This is your Jeep Wrangler JK, and from the factory, it comes with these front and rear sway bar links. And in the JK video we've just shown you, we include rear links in our kits. We do this as we recommend once you get those rear links set up, you can then take your OEM rear links and swap those into the front. This allows you to completely remove these front links. The factory rears provide adequate length for the front, and now you have a fully functioning setup with the proper geometry for your sway bars. If you were looking to further upgrade or replace any factory OEM components, you could purchase an identical second set of JK sway bar links. You could then apply those to the front and completely remove all OEM components. This is now a fully upgraded setup with stronger links and the ability to get the exact lengths dialed for your sway bar links. If you were someone who didn't have a factory included electronic sway bar disconnect in your Rubicon trim, you could also upgrade to the JKS quicker disconnects. You could apply this to the front, remove any other sway bar links you had, and now you have maximum performance and the ability to unlock your front sway bar for improved flex. Both of these options are available on our website in the recommended products tab and are easily interchangeable in all of our kits.
Now that we've shown you how to properly cut and assemble your Clayton Off-Road sway bar links, you can be ready and confident to take on your next upgrade. Double check the specific instructions for your links for any differences and reach out if you have any questions or if you want to know more about the upgrades you saw today.